New Tribes missionaries live among people groups in some of the most remote and forgotten places on the face of the earth. New Tribes Aviation pilots are responsible for getting them there. Tribal church planners and pilots alike share a common goal: reach tribal people with the gospel.
Air traffic control, you're cleared for takeoff.
Millions are still unreached.
Since I was a little kid, I'd always wanted to fly. After the Lord impressed me about the tribal work, I didn't see how flying and tribal work actually fit together until I had an opportunity, to walk on trails for days. I can remember some of the trips we made with your backpack, traveling for a full week up through rivers and up and down mountains. And the more I did that kind of hiking, I realized how much an airplane would help.
The task of supplying missionary families who live in remote tribal locations is demanding. Their only consistent contact with the outside world is the pilot. He brings long-awaited packages from loved ones, groceries from the mission commissary, and medical supplies for first aid, malaria, and a multitude of other ailments that are a part of a regular life in a primitive setting. Many missionary families have young children who are vulnerable to sickness and accidental injury. An aviation program for countries with remote tribal works is not just an option, it is the only option.
Some of our flights were about 4.5 hours, and some of our shortest flights were around a half hour. This is one way. And I got to thinking, how in the world would this be possible on foot? Because there were no roads in these areas. You couldn't drive there in a car even if you wanted to, because there's no roads. And it reminded me just of the time I used to hike over the jungle. It would take us a full day of traveling. You could do 4 minutes in an airplane. And what I remember taking a week hiking took us about 46 minutes in an airplane. There was no comparison.
In settings where conditions are at best unpredictable, an emergency can arise out of the smallest of complications, and simply surviving at a basic level can be a full-time occupation. Efficient access to the outside world is vital.
New Tribes Mission Aviation is there to serve the missionaries that are in the tribe. They consider us kind of the missionary to the missionaries.
You're the missionary's friend. It's just a privilege to fly in there and be their friend and put an arm around them and pray with them, have a cup of coffee with them, and just encourage them.
Whatever the missionary needs, we'll haul it if we can get it in the aircraft. I've flown pigs, emus, you name it. Most missionary pilots have flown it.
The airplane has a lot of uses. It's an ambulance, it's a taxi, it's a school bus, it's a grocery store for the missionaries out in the tribe. It's just everything. It's really a tremendous tool that God has given us to reach tribal people with the gospel.
NTM Aviation pilots spend as much time on their plane as in them. The required maintenance regime in the aviation program is rigorous. Pilots are trained for spot landings and short field takeoffs on graded mountain airstrips.
We're here for about 9 months of training as a pilot mechanic.
It's a tremendous blessing to the missionaries to crawl into that airplane and feel comfortable and safe. And that's our purpose for training the new pilots that come through here.
New Tribes mission has one purpose: reach tribal people with the gospel. This work has been greatly aided by modern aircraft, but millions are still unreached. No tribe is unreachable.